Last time, we witnessed the insidious transformation of ancient spiritual practices into demonic pacts, carefully crafted by theologians and inquisitors. The seeds of terror were sown, watered by fear and suspicion. Now, prepare to journey into the full, devastating harvest. For 3 centuries, from roughly 1450 to 1750, a dark fire swept across Europe, consuming tens of thousands. This was the age of the Great European Witch Hunts, a terrifying chapter where fear, superstition, and tragic circumstance set a continent aflame. The sheer scale of these persecutions was not an isolated phenomenon, but a horrific culmination of desperate times and simmering anxieties. Europe in this period was a continent in turmoil. The Protestant Reformation had shattered religious unity, pitting Catholic against Protestant in brutal, often bloody, conflicts. Each side accused the other of heresy and being in league with the devil, fueling an intense preoccupation with spiritual purity and damnation. Adding to this religious strife was a severe environmental crisis, the Little Ice Age. Colder temperatures and erratic weather led to widespread crop failures, famine, and economic hardship. Desperate communities, facing starvation and disease, searched for scapegoats. Recurrent outbreaks of the plague and other epidemics also decimated populations, leaving survivors traumatized and searching for explanations beyond human comprehension. In an era where misfortune was often seen as divine punishment or malevolent interference, the figure of the witch became a convenient, terrifying answer to inexplicable suffering. Social anxieties were at an all-time high, creating fertile ground for suspicion and mass hysteria. While the Malleus Maleficarum provided the blueprint for persecution, its implementation varied dramatically across the continent. The Holy Roman Empire, particularly modern-day Germany, was an absolute epicenter, witnessing some of the most brutal and extensive hunts. Its decentralized political structure meant local authorities, often with immense power, could prosecute alleged witches with little oversight, leading to relentless waves of accusations in areas like Bamberg, Würzburg, and Trier. Scotland also experienced extraordinarily intense hunts, with a higher per capita execution rate than almost anywhere else in Europe, largely driven by its zealous Calvinist clergy and a legal system that readily accepted confessions extracted under torture. France, Switzerland, and parts of the Netherlands also saw significant purges. However, it's important to note the differences. In Spain and Italy, the powerful Inquisition, while certainly ruthless, tended to view witchcraft more as heresy or minor superstition, often requiring concrete evidence rather than spectral accusations. They were more concerned with internal church doctrine. Similarly, in England, a different legal tradition that prohibited torture for ordinary crimes and required a jury trial, led to fewer executions compared to the continental hunts. Though still significant localized outbreaks like the notorious Matthew Hopkins campaign. Yet, globally, the numbers are staggering. An estimated 40,000 to 50,000 individuals were executed, a horrifying statistic born of terror. So, who are these tens of thousands caught in the crosshairs of this continent-wide hysteria? While men were certainly accused, sometimes up to 20% of the total, the overwhelming majority were women. And not just any women. The typical profile of an accused witch was often an elderly, poor, and marginalized woman. Many were widows, living alone, lacking family protection, or dependent on charity. Their very vulnerability made them easy targets. Women who practiced traditional healing, midwifery, or offered local advice, roles once valued, now found their knowledge twisted into evidence of dark arts. Those with sharp tongues, independent minds, or who simply didn't conform to societal expectations were also highly susceptible to accusation. A perceived slight, a neighborly quarrel, an unexplained death of livestock, any misfortune could trigger an accusation, often from within their own communities. These were not powerful sorceresses conspiring with the devil, they were often the weakest members of society, made scapegoats for collective fears and misfortunes, their humanity stripped away by baseless paranoia. The impact of the great European witch hunts was catastrophic. Beyond the horrific human cost of tens of thousands executed overwhelmingly by burning or hanging, entire communities were torn apart by suspicion and fear. Trust evaporated, social bonds fractured, and a deep-seated misogyny was reinforced, portraying women as inherently weaker, more susceptible to the devil's temptations. The hunts also led to the loss of invaluable traditional knowledge, particularly in herbal medicine and midwifery, as those who practiced it were systematically targeted. It took centuries for Europe to recover from this collective trauma, and for rational thought to slowly begin to challenge the theological and legal frameworks that permitted such atrocities. The legacy of this period reminds us of the profound dangers of mass hysteria, unchecked power, and the terrifying consequences when fear triumphs over reason. It stands as a chilling testament to humanity's capacity for cruelty under the guise of piety. The great European witch hunts represent one of history's darkest chapters, a brutal testament to the power of fear and the tragic ease with which the innocent can be condemned. The seeds sown in medieval theology had indeed blossomed into a devastating harvest of human lives. But how exactly were these dark verdicts reached? From the initial, often flimsy, accusations to the terrifying methods of extracting confessions, the mechanics of these trials were designed to ensure guilt, not justice. Join us next time on Witches, as we pull back the curtain on The Witch Trial Unveiled, Accusations, Torture, and Confession, exploring the grim procedures that sealed the fates of so many. If this journey into history's shadow has gripped you, please remember to like this video, share it with fellow history enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to uncover these crucial stories.